Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of EPFL Innovation Park, it's our great pleasure to welcome you to the 2023 Tech4Eva Conference and Demo Day. I'm so pleased to see many of you here in presence and also connect with us online. Your long-lasting interest and passion about women's health give us confidence that this initiative should and will grow with all the open-minded partners. We designed today's conference to target general audience of different age group. So instead of diving into complex technology about behind women's health, we'd rather spend time to explain to you in detail the biological change of a woman in her life cycles, and as well as the health condition related to it. We would like to illustrate how innovative femtech solution can address these pain points by giving you some examples coming from Tech4Eva acceleration programs. So let's start with the basics. What do we mean by women's health, and what is femtech? Women's health is a general term to describe conditions and diseases that affect women uniquely, differently, and disproportionately. The term of femtech refers to technology to improve the women's health. It could take the forms of wearables, mobile apps, diagnostic devices, or therapeutic drugs, or data-driven platform and predictions. So why are we interested in femtech and launch the Tech4Eva acceleration programs? Well, apart from the very obvious reasons that women's health it concerns half of the world populations and has a tremendous impact on the family, on the society, there is also urgent needs for us to put the women's health on top of our agenda. Women are over-medicated. Most of the drugs use the one-size-fits-all dosage, despite obvious differences in sex, for instance, body fat compositions. So according to research, 96% of the common drugs they will use are prescribed to women in excessive dose, leading to excessive also the side effect. Women are misdiagnosed. Across 700 diseases, women are on average diagnosed significantly later than men. For instance, a woman who is having a heart attack has 50% of chance to be misdiagnosed because of different symptoms, etc. And female anatomy is not very well taken into considerations. There are many more studies about males' infertility than the female infertilities. According to the statistics of 2019, the number of publications on male erectile dysfunction is 6 times more than the study on females' fertilities. And we are also in a pressing needs for the widespread prevalence of conditions. For instance, endometriosis. For these type of conditions, we do not have enough treatment and also diagnostics. As a leading science park of Switzerland, EPFL Innovation Park has the mission to create impact, to drive technology innovation and by bringing science to market. So this is one of the reasons why we create and launch Tech4Eva initiative together with our partner Gumutuel. Tech4Eva is a 9-month Swiss-based, equity-free startup accelerator open to international companies. We have aggregated the resources from our network and identified experts from our industrial partners to bring them together to make this happen. It has been 3 years of amazing journey. From the market study in 2020 until now, we have been going through a lot of things, and we have learned a lot. Our Tech4Eva startups also have achieved a lot. Today, 3 years after the launch of Tech4Eva, we are acknowledged as one of the thought leaders in femtech and are invited to many international conferences. And Tech4Eva is becoming a very well-known brand with a strong community behind it. Now, just some numbers of Tech4Eva. 3 years of Tech4Eva is 6 major femtech conferences, 14 international roadshows, 130 workshops and peer-to-peer sessions, over 700 hours of coaching, etc., etc. So we are working with a large pool of partners, institutional partners, which send us experts to work with us. So today, the community is composed of over 4,000 passionate people like you, and also hundreds of startups companies. So here you have a split of all the Tech4Eva alumni in different areas of women's health. You could observe that women's predictive health and maternal health got more intentions. And in the country, areas such as menopause or period health has less projects. And this overall picture corresponds quite well to the current situation of the femtech space. In 3 years, 8 startups from our 3 cohort has raised combined 178 million with one successful exit. Here, you could also see some of the recent fundraising from our companies of this year. The cohort of 23 has some companies fundraising with a relatively small amount, but if you look into those who is already well developed, they raise a big amount. The star of the fundraising stay and remains to be Lab, a startup company that develop wearable for women to fight against hot flash during the menopausal period. And it's also interesting to notice that the Rare company working for endometriosis, FIMSIT, recently got some convertible loans supported by both Fairing and also Bill-based foundations. So in 3 years, we have accumulated a lot of experience and also get some insight about the femtech market. Originally, the femtech is exclusively interested in the area with gynecological symptoms and also life events of a woman, for instance, maternity, etc. Now what we see that more and more solutions proposed are rather in the area of non-gendered general health, for instance, mental health, well-being, nutrition, healthy aging, etc. We have also observed that the femtech space is also extended to non-gendered diseases where a woman where the prevalence among women is observed. For instance, cardiovascular diseases, Alzheimer, etc. With the rapid development of digital health, we also see and there are more and more personalized prediction and diagnostics for women's health. But the personalized therapeutic drugs, it's still lagging behind. Now, there are voices suggest that why don't we divide the population into men and women to use the natural biological sex as one of the logic biomarkers for the drug development. So I think this could be a future. This also means there are more research should be done in this space. We also observed some startups that using B2C models are now trying to move into the B2B2C model, which means they try to sell their product to the employer, which will make available of the solution to their women employees as one of the company benefits. Let's also give us some hints where we should go and how to push that forward. Also, some countries are progressing faster than here in Switzerland. Just in this month, White House has announced that there is going to be a White House initiative, for a 5-year initiative for women's health. They are calling for contributions for all the people in the country, like companies, researchers, universities, and the individuals to try to develop and do more research on women's health. Well, the only thing I think a little bit pity, I might say, is that we see in the middle a man, and I would like rather to see the First Lady sitting to the middle because it's her initiative and it's her effort. I would like to see the president standing behind to give her applause. Well, in this area, we're still in the Stone Age where the credit is very often to give it to authorities, rather than giving to the woman who is leading initiatives. So what we are going to do in Switzerland. Here is our plan. So we're continuing to develop a community which involves all the players for the health value chain. Specifically, we'd like to involve more researchers and also the healthcare providers to participate. We'd like to also find more forward-looking partners that put the women's health on top of the priority list, and also with a strong sense of social responsibilities. We would like to build a platform where everyone can share their ideas to facilitate the validation, also the development of new projects by leveraging the resources of each other. So we want to have a platform which is open to everybody and to work together. The other direction we'd like to go is that we would like to try to find opportunities also to create or advocate for the creation of grants to support women health research and also to support development of prototype for those who would like to kick off companies. And finally, as the femtech goes hand in hand with the movement of women claiming equal treatment in society, in healthcare, or also in professional life, we would like to join forth with them and to find a synergy so that we can convince more companies to consider to be the prescribers or maybe the customers to purchase more femtech company for their women employees as a way to support their professional life. Then, for your audience sitting here or online, what you can contribute? Well, first of all, you could be a beta testers. You could be a first customer of the new technology solutions, and you could also contribute your data. More data we have, that more precise prediction that femtech startup can develop for you. You could also participate in clinical trial if you are eligible or interested. You could also contribute to develop the patient advocacy group so that you can identify unmet needs and to get your voice heard by policymakers and politicians. So let's keep in touch and get together and get connected. Together, we can drive femtech innovation in Switzerland, but for the half of the population of the world. Thank you. Now we'd like to pass the word to our partner to say some opening speech. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Len. Thank you. So I'm the guy from the Stone Age, sorry. But representing Groupe Mutuel, very happy to be here. We co-founded Tech4Eva with the EPFL lab. We are financing it since 3 years now, and we are still very convinced that it's a good way. As said, 50% of the population, and a topic that has been neglected since years. And believe me, we ensure tens of thousands of women. So we see the figures, we see the statistic, and I am extremely happy to see the speed at which the topic is growing and improving. And if you look at this year, quality is improving, number of startups is improving, volume of disease, pathology, and women concerned and touched by those technology is improving. So I think it's a great trend, and I'm very happy, very proud to have the honor to sit here, even as a man. And now I hand over to our colleagues, which are going to animate the debate.
Thank you, Jérôme. Hello, everyone. Welcome also from my side. My name is Lisa Flückiger. I'm the spokesperson for Groupe Mutuel, and I'll be one of your hosts tonight, or today. And I'll be guiding you through the program with my wonderful colleague, Jérôme Michaud.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, and what a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. And I wanted to start by thanking you for coming over. I know the weather has been a bit chaotic in Switzerland, and some of you are coming outside, but it's really a pleasure. And thanks again for your support throughout the last 9 months. Those that have been mentoring, providing some support, and just looking from the external about the progress we're making. So today we're here to elevate awareness about the continuous transformation of a woman's body and discuss how hormones play an important role in the women's health journey. We've prepared a very rich agenda, as you can see. We'll illustrate the story of Eva throughout the solutions that all Tech4Eva alumni and all 2023 participants are bringing together to improve the daily life of a woman. You will also hear about the stories and the solutions of all startups and the progress that they have made over the last 9 months. And we will also address the opportunities that we have to work together to improve women's health in Switzerland and beyond. And as a reminder, if you have your phone, please connect in Mentimeter. We're going to be using that in the course of the panel discussion to engage, and do not hesitate to start voting.
Being here, most of us are already aware that there is still a huge gap in the research for women's health. But someone who knows that women are not just small men with pesky hormones is our keynote speaker for today, Lisa Falco. Lisa has been working in the interface between medicine and technology for almost 20 years, driven by the question how data can be used to better understand the human body. Her work has taken her into areas such as bone research, diabetes, fertility, and she also served as a director of data science at one of Switzerland's leading femtechs. Today, she will talk about women's health journeys and unravel the science of the female biology, as she also did in her book, Go Figure, which you can actually buy and get signed at our networking cocktail. So welcome, Lisa.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here among so many enthusiasts and curious people about women's health. So, this is a company I work for. No. So, as you just heard, women were really long time seen as small men with pesky hormones. Well, first of all, let's think about it. Small, are we that small? Of course, we talk about averages. Everything in science, it's about average, comparing averages, but that's just a very tiny part of the truth. It's so important that everything is distribution. So whenever you compare men to women in general, remember, yes, there are the average, but there are huge overlaps. I'm sure you all know men that are much smaller than you are. And that's really important to keep in mind, that everything is distributions, so already that part of the statement doesn't work. Pesky hormones. We do have a lot of influence from our hormones. We have the same hormones as the men. Actually, we don't have so many unique ones, but we have different quantities of them. And they're not really pesky. They're actually very good. They're giving us superpowers. It's more, I would more considering them doping, because they have a lot of positive effects for us. And whenever we're really suffering in our menstrual cycle or just after pregnancy, it's actually because the hormones are gone. So you should not forget that hormones is a great thing to have. And this is, I will tell you a little bit about what's so great about them. It starts around puberty. That's when we start really producing a lot of the hormones that are the most typical for women. It's estrogen and progesterone. But remember, these hormones are also there in men, but to much smaller quantities. And those estrogen and progesterone, they start shaping what we look like. Due to the influence of these hormones, you have the fat cells that actually changes distribution. It's thanks to estrogen that the fat goes on the breast, it goes on the buttocks, on the thighs, and also it changes the composition of fat. So we have much higher percentage of subcutaneous fat than men do. It also changes our brain. Did you know that? Actually, during the influence of estrogen, the connections between the right and the left hemisphere, they grow much denser. So women, on average, again, it's always a distribution, remember this. And there are a lot of overlaps, but on average, men and women, women have much more connection between the two hemispheres. I'm not really sure what that says about how we are as humans on average, but at least it's something that has been observed. Of course, we have these cycles that started in puberty, and the hormones are not pesky in the sense that we don't know when they're going to come, because they're actually very regular. We know the first phase of the menstrual cycle is dominated by estrogen, and the second phase is dominated by progesterone. So it's nothing unpredictable about women's hormones. This is very predictable. And these hormones have great effect on our body. During our reproductive years, when we have those hormones, it really helps our cardiovascular health. It prevents us from having heart attack and a lot of diseases linked to cardiovascular health. So it's beneficial for that. It's also beneficial for our skeleton. As long as we are in a reproductive age, estrogen is preventing our skeleton to decline and become weaker. So there's no way of getting osteoporosis, or maybe there are, of course, ways, but normally we're very well protected against osteoporosis thanks to our estrogen. It also protects the brain. It's a good protection against Alzheimer's and dementia. And it also, of course, influences our brain in many other ways, in many positive ways. In the phase where we have a lot of estrogen, we feel more extroverted, we have more energy, and this is since estrogen is stimulating the production of serotonin, and it's at the same time preventing the estrogen is at the same time preventing I forgot the word, but how it breaks down. So the enzyme that breaks down serotonin is inhibited. So that means you have much more serotonin and you're much happier. So it's a great hormone to have. Progesterone, on the other hand, it makes us feel calm, maybe more introverted, more prone to cuddle, and maybe a little bit more focused as well. So that's another superpower. And our only problem occurs during the 2 last days when we don't have those hormones anymore. That can become problematic for some because we become much more sensitive to stress hormones like cortisol. So we can deal with stress like superwomen most days of the cycle, but we get a bit more sensitive to stress towards the end. But you can always try to remove the stress, and you feel already much better in that phase as well. It also has other influences. It influences basically everything in our body. We have receptors for these hormones almost everywhere. We have it in our eyes. Actually, our vision changes with the menstrual cycle because the lens relaxes, or the muscles around the lens of our eyes relaxes. So when we have more progesterone, it relaxes the smooth muscles, and that changes how the shape of the lens slightly, so the vision changes. Also, of course, it changes the voice. It's not maybe so noticeable. It's slightly noticeable during the menstrual cycle, but during pregnancy, during puberty, and during menopause, it's much bigger, these changes, of course. It also changes our breast, which changes in size, and the feeling of the breast changes throughout the menstrual cycle, and it changes our digestion. In the high progesterone phase, for instance, since I mentioned before, the smooth muscle is getting more relaxed. That means that the intestines are not working as hard as they used to, and that therefore we tend to be a bit more constipated in this phase. But don't worry, because towards when the cycle comes, when the bleeding comes again, we release a lot of prostaglandins, and because of that, everything starts contracting, and then we have the opposite problem. So it will all balance out in the end. Then we also have other things. We have different enzymes in our belly, so we actually digest things differently. That's also why we had the issues that Lan talked about with the drugs. It's linked to the metabolism and the enzymes that we have. And that's also why we can't, on average, always on average, remember that, on average we don't digest alcohol as well as men do. It's mainly due to the enzyme, and actually not due so much to our body size or body composition. And of course, all of this is cyclic. On the pregnancy, when you're pregnant, then actually we have almost up to 300 times more of these hormones towards the end of the pregnancy. So of course, all those effects that we can observe during the menstrual cycle, they completely explode during pregnancy. And it leads to this complete transformation of our body. What it looks like, it's very visual, but of course it has changes. I mean, you know that the breasts of pregnant women, they grow a lot, the voice change. I was told not to get glasses when I was pregnant, because of course I couldn't see very well because of all the changes, but they wouldn't even serve me in the optician's store. The metabolism changes a lot as well, and of course, the brain. You actually have some quite significant changes in the brain. So certain areas linked to nurturing, for instance, become, they get enlarged. And also another part that gets enlarged is the amygdala. Amygdala is a center of kind of stress and anxiety. And it's very good from an evolutionary perspective to be a bit more anxious, because that will make you take care of your children a bit better. It's much less good when you're a free skier, but that's another story. So maybe today we don't need it as much, but remember, from an evolutionary perspective, it's a great quality to be a bit anxious. And those changes of the brain, the actual physical changes of the brain structures, that stays for years after the pregnancy as well. Of course, all those hormones with amazing qualities, one day they disappear. That's menopause. And of course, there are so many positive effects that are now gone. And yeah, all this protection of our bones, of our heart, of our brain is now gone. And suddenly we were actually more prone than men to have Alzheimer's, for instance, dementia, osteoporosis, and even vascular health. I'm not really sure actually if we're more prone to vascular health problems than men, but at least we are the same. And that's all because those hormones are gone. Instead, we have hot flashes. But remember, it's only for a while. It will come better again. These are all the hormonal things, but there are other unique features about the female body. Well, this was a very bad example, so bad sentence for that particular example, because men get breast cancer too, but it's much more prevalent in women. Cervical cancer, on the other hand, is very female because you need a cervix to have cervical cancer, and only women have cervixes. Endometriosis is also linked to the uterus, so of course only women can have endometriosis. And I'm really happy to see that these last couple of years is finally getting a lot of attention, because it's a very debilitating condition for women that prevents them to work at least once during the menstrual cycle, and it's incredibly painful. So I'm so happy that research is happening on that area a lot now. Of course, these hormonal disruptions, are also very specific for the women. And that is when your menstrual cycle doesn't stop working properly. That can have several reasons. It can be linked to stress, undernourishment, or something else that is not working, like PCOS. And this has a large impact on fertility and also on your well-being in general. Of course, autoimmune diseases are also not women-specific, but predominantly a female problem. And that is because our immune system is much better than it is for men. What is a little bit contradictory with the fact that we have a better immune system than men is that we actually tend to be sick more often than men. Because being sick is very rarely the virus that is really attacking your organs. It's a reaction of the immune system that you feel. And since we have a very active immune system, we more often get fever, headaches, and these problems than men. On the other hand, when the men get sick, then they get really sick. But that's on average. So no, we should never judge a man. There are distributions among them as well. And of course, autoimmune systems then is also a consequence of when the immune system is too strong and starts attacking the body back. So all of this really showing that we are not just small men with pesky hormones. We have specific needs. We are fundamentally different, and therefore we need different solutions. If you want to know a little bit more, of course, I'm also going to do some PR for my book that just came out in French, the French version 2 weeks ago. There's mostly text in my book, but there are also a lot of nice images describing all those phenomena that I've been talking about, and a lot more. So just some examples. Please come out and get it afterwards during the apéro. And so this introduces to the next part of this evening here. So meet Eva. Eva is on her journey throughout life. And as you saw, we need a lot of very specific solutions for women since we are so different. And I'm so happy that today you will see examples of all these companies that will improve Eva's journey throughout her life. And I'm very happy to present those to you. So when Eva was born, she already had all the follicles that she would ever have in her ovaries. That's about 2 million follicles. And only a tiny fraction of those follicles will actually turn into eggs and give her the possibility to create a life. The vast majority of those follicles will die naturally. They're not disappearing through the ovulation, there's actually natural die-off. And by the time that Eva reaches puberty, there's only going to be about 30,000 left of them. And I realized I forgot the Mentimeter, but apparently you already answered that, so never mind, I'll continue. Like most women, Eva is going to bleed about 400 times in her life. From an evolutionary perspective, this is really a lot, because women used to bleed when we were still living on the savannah or wherever we lived. Around maximum 100 times a year would be more common, because we would either be pregnant, 100 times in a life, because we would either be pregnant or we would be undernourished, which would stop the menstrual cycle. So therefore, we don't really know what is actually the long-term consequences of bleeding so much that we do when we have our natural cycles. But it's something that I hope research will show in the future what that actually means. The blood itself is actually less than 50% blood, and the rest of it is endometrial cells, mucus, vaginal secretions, and tissue fragments. Nevertheless, it's a body fluid that we need, or at least we are expected to handle to some extent. And thanks to ego pads, we will be helped by handling these body fluids in the best possible way. So with those words, I would like to present Eagle Pads and Penelope Finney.
Good morning from Massachusetts. Yes, meet Eva. You can go to the first slide, please. She has just gotten her period, and she will have her period for approximately 4,000 days of her life. And hopefully those periods won't always happen at home. As many of you said in the Mentimeter, periods are unpredictable. 87% of women or people who menstruate get their periods unexpectedly when they're away from home. 62% have to leave work due to having no period products. 23% of students either don't come to school or leave school because of lack of period products. And if there is a vending machine out by the sink, not exactly where you need it when you're in the stall, they're jammed, they're empty, broken, or you don't have a quarter or whatever to get something out of it. Next. So we have created pads on a roll. We feel like all bodily functions should be treated the same way. That's the reason we named ourselves EGAL. There are 40 pads on a roll and all individually wrapped. And it's a patented product that can be dispensed in every stall, just like toilet paper. Next. In the States, over 30 entities, either states or municipalities, have passed laws requiring free period products in schools, in public buildings, in prisons, or in shelters. As of tomorrow, Canada will require free period products in all federally regulated businesses, such as communication, oil and gas, energy, etc. So we have been sending truckloads of our product to Canada in the past few weeks. We sell B2B, and so we are just starting to get our product into airports, schools, universities, and other big businesses. Next. We have really enjoyed doing Tech4Eva. We are currently raising $3 million as the interest globally has picked up far faster than we expected. And please join us on this journey. Either if you'd like our product in your business or your school, please let us know. And thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
Thank you so much, Penelope. It's so great that you're attacking this issue also of menstrual equality. That is a big issue around the world. So Eva loves doing sport. She's an avid runner and a football player. But she started to recognize that she doesn't always perform the same way throughout her cycle and in general. She has a lot of male colleagues, especially in her running club, and there are a few particularities that she noticed. For instance, the trainer often tells her that the second that your pulse goes up a little bit more, that could be a sign that you have a cold. But Eva's pulse go up every time in the second phase of her menstrual cycle. And therefore, she really feels the need to learn about how to train according to her cycle. And that's why she gets the app Wild AI.
So I'm Hélène Guillaume. I'm the founder and CEO of Wild AI. And if we go to the previous slide. So what we're doing is we are creating the backbone of femtech. Yeah. Slides are a little bit funny design. I think they were translated into PowerPoint. And if you go to the next slide now, so women are not men, and next slide. But the issue is that in 80% of the medical research, next slide, 80% of the medical research, we are still done on males. So women are very rarely taken into consideration in research. That is on the research world. But what it means in the tech world as well is that we've been using devices, products, softwares that are actually made for men. I give you an example, the Apple Watch that you see here, they added a period toggle on off in 2019. And that is basically the only thing really that they added for women. Whereas, as we all know, having a period is not the only thing that characterizes a woman, and is not the only thing that characterizes a menstrual cycle, as we saw two companies ago. Knowing when I ovulate, for instance, is really critical, but these are not things that these devices are offering. So all the readings, all of that is basically still made for men. Next slide. So yeah, so all the issues that we have as women on a daily basis is, I don't know when I'm going to ovulate. I don't know if I'm going to feel bloated. I don't know if I'm fertile, how long I'm going to be fertile. When am I going to hit perimenopause? By the way, what symptoms am I going to feel? Are these really bad? We basically operate really in the dark and have no idea where we're going. Next slide. So what we've done is extensive research on the female body. We've done 4 years of research, which we translated into our app. And from there, now we have a coach dashboard, and we're now able to extend our knowledge and our software to third parties through an API. That is really where the big opportunity is, because it means that we can turn any of these wearables, any of these sports platform or health platforms into femtech. So our mission is to provide 1 billion women with the tools and power to perform by plugging into through this API to all these softwares. Next slide. So the way it works is on the left, you can see, so we take data from wearables plus manual input. So we aggregate these two together. It gives us a female readiness score. And based on the score, we are able to provide personalized and adaptive recommendations on a daily basis to the women. Next slide. And on the flip side of that, if you have a coach or a professional that wants to have your data sets, they can see this dashboard where they can see all the women. I used to be in trading, so I like this dashboard with alerts, so you can see alerts of who to focus on, because there are some negative symptoms that are coming over time, or they not having a period for a few months, for instance. Next slide. And this is like the magic here, is that we can turn any tech into femtech through these widgets that you see on the right. So it's a plug and play. Any wearable can now become really serving women. Next slide. So where we are, we now have more than 8,000 women with no marketing on the path to make significant revenues. And we have some competitors which are doing a great job, but we are uniquely positioned to really turn through this API tech into femtech. Next slide. And women love us. We have Olympians, professional teams, down to women who exercise a few times a week. And in terms of traction, in terms of the results, so negative symptoms, 86% of the women after 12 weeks see their negative symptoms go down. 82% feel more empowered, so more knowledgeable. And yeah, 92% feel more knowledgeable. And we have millions of data sets. So it's really powerful in terms of being able to profile the women and provide really good recommendations to women. And we are in the press, like we won some awards from Garmin or Women's Health. Next slide. And our team, Dr. Stacey Sims, is the world reference in female physiology and sports. She's also an advisor to companies like Whoop or Exos or Tonal. And we also do really interestingly continuous research with universities to continue to advance research, because one of the big issues we want to solve is 80% of the medical research only on males is not okay, and we want to change that. And that is us. So very happy to be part of this journey with Eva. And yeah, thank you for all of you for being here. And these are my contact details.
Thank you so much, Helen. That's a great app that really teaches you how to train according to your menstrual cycle. So instead, we'll look at the Mentimeter question that you already had a chance to answer. So can we get up the Mentimeter? So what are the difficulties linked to motherhood that you and your partner, wife, daughter, mother, have experienced? I think you can read those better than I can, actually. But it's really, so apparently the main one is, I'm going into perimenopause, so my eyes are really bad. Dealing with mental health issues such as anxiety, depression during pregnancy. That's very interesting. It is a phase where the brain remodels completely. And of course, we are very anxious to make sure that our babies are fine. And that anxiety, unfortunately, is only going to increase just after giving birth, because then all the hormones that actually kind of keeps our anxiety under control, they will disappear from one day to the next as the placenta leaves the stage. And that has huge implications on our mental health, which is why 80% of all women have the baby blues. And now it's time for Eva as well to start thinking about, well, first, before she thinks about getting pregnant, she wants to make sure that she does not get pregnant, because she's not ready to have children just yet. She's looking into how she can protect herself. And she's a bit disappointed that male contraception is still not really developed. People don't seem very stressed to get that on the market for some strange reason. She's also a bit confused on whether she should take hormonal contraception or not, because some people say it's really bad for her to disrupt the normal cycle, whereas others say, you know, we were anyway made to be pregnant all the time, so it makes total sense to take those pills. It's also very contradictory what they say about mood and mental health linked to contraception. So it's really hard to see how she, as a woman, as a person, will react to this medicine, because the science at the moment is so contradictory. It's quite a jungle to navigate for her. But in the end, she decides that she wants to go for an IUD. But she's a bit scared that it will hurt to get the IUD and to change it. Luckily, there's a company, Aspivix, that has found the perfect solution for just that. Aspivix. There you are.
I did a clicker. Yep. Thank you, Lisa. Hello, everyone. And here you see Eva again. You can see immediately that she is concerned. The apprehension is palpable. And what could be actually a joyous and expected news becomes for her the source of inner turmoil. Like 121 million women in the world every year, Eva is facing an intended pregnancy. And now the weight of decisions is bearing on her. Should she speak to her parents about this? Does she need to abort? Does she need to abandon the Master of Science she has just been accepted in? How her partner will accept this news? Not easy. And actually, the social and medical impact of unintended pregnancy is staggering. Every year, you can see 60% of women of those pregnancies will end in abortion. It costs $21 billion of social cost only in the US. And it affects, of course, disproportionately young women. But wait. She's waking up. It was a nightmare. But one thing is true, she made a decision. She will have a contraception, and this contraception will be an IUD. The IUD is the most cost-effective, replaceable, I would say, contraceptive solution. It's great, it can be with hormone or hormone-free, and nevertheless, most of the women do not want an IUD because of pain. Why? Why pain? Actually, because of this device you're seeing on the left of the screen, which is a device coming straight from the Middle Age. It's a forceps, it's called also cervical tenaculum, and it's used to grasp and manipulate the cervix every time you need to insert, for instance, an IUD. And this is what we come up with at Aspivix. We name it Cervix. It's a suction-based device, very simple, and this device will replace the cervical tenaculum one-to-one. But it's now a change which was waited for nearly a century. And with Cervix, we can reduce the pain, and it has been clinically proven by 73%. We reduce the bleeding by 78%. So now there is no more reason not choosing an IUD. So we have one word at Aspivix for Eva. Go and choose a contraception which is right for you. Now, Cervix is on the market, FDA cleared, CE marked. It's already in use in 12 hospitals in Europe and in US. So choose your contraception without fear and choose Cervix. Thanks a lot.
Eva and women around the world are super grateful for Aspivix and their solution. Because also now when Eva finally decides that she wants to get pregnant and removes her IUD, she can do so without pain. And now when the IUD is gone, and she looks forward to getting pregnant, and she thinks it's going to go really fast. And she knows the numbers. She knows that when you're 25, you have about 25% of getting pregnant each menstrual cycle. And she also knows that when you're 40, you have 8% chance of getting pregnant every cycle. So it goes down quite quickly in this phase. But Eva is still in her early 30s, so she's very confident that this will go really well. However, as the time goes by, she's still not pregnant. So she starts wondering, what's wrong with me? Or is it something wrong with my partner? Or is it something wrong with both of us, or the combination of us? What could it actually be? Eva and her partner were in a really difficult period that lasted way too long. And by that time, she encountered the company Prove. The stage is yours, Amy.
Hello, everyone. This is not going to be Amy. Amy is the CEO and founder of the company, and she is in Colorado, where it's very, very early in the morning. My name is Wana Garbi. I am Prove's head of partnerships, and I'm going to be representing Amy, which is our Eva, our own Prove Eva. So the story goes that when our Eva/Amy was in her late 20s, she just finished her education. She started working with hormones, which are her biggest passion. And she decided it was time to start her family. So Amy got pregnant, not once, not twice, but 7 times in a row. And each time she miscarried very early in the pregnancy. Knowing hormones very well, she suspected she was having a hormonal imbalance, notably low progesterone, because the second part of her cycle that you very well underlined, Lisa, is dominated by progesterone. And she was suspecting she was not having enough progesterone. The problem with progesterone is that it is being tested traditionally in blood just once after suspected ovulation, only to confirm ovulation. So it was her case. We knew she was ovulating because she was getting pregnant, right? yet her doctors insisted that she does IVF in order to have a pregnancy. She did IVF. She paid $30,000 out of pocket. She eventually had her son, but it was still in the back of her mind that there was something wrong with her progesterone. And when she tried for a sibling for her son, she convinced the doctors to prescribe progesterone to her to stabilize her luteal phase. And this is how she had her daughter naturally, her progesterone miracle, like she likes to call her, with an expense of only $200. The progesterone is an extremely important hormone when it comes to pregnancy. And so Amy decided to do something in order to help other women struggling with this problem, which, because of the way we usually test progesterone, flies under the radar. And so Amy invented the PDG test, which is the urinary metabolite of progesterone that can be detected in urine, measured in urine, from the comfort of your home. Next slide, please. So there is no secret that infertility is on the rise. And unfortunately, up to 30% of infertility cases are deemed to be unexplained. Many of these, depending on what studies you decide to believe, are caused by ovulatory disorders followed by hormonal imbalances. The way we measure progesterone in blood is it offers just a snapshot in time. The difference with urine being that measuring the urinary metabolite, you get more of an average of the levels you registered in blood during the previous day. So basically, you can not only confirm ovulation occurred, but you can also make sure that the levels stay above a certain threshold throughout the luteal phase in order to allow for implantation to occur. Next slide, please. Studies show that elevated levels during the second part of the cycle, elevated levels of progesterone, are associated to a 92% pregnancy rate versus almost 19% when levels are suboptimal. We actually published a study at Prove, and women who had PDG positive cycles had a 75% higher chance of pregnancy. Next, please. So although PDG has been is our flagship product, we have now expanded, and now we are offering testing for all hormones. We have 4 issued patents. We have become an early screening tool, and what we're trying to do is to bridge a gap for women's health testing to consumers. We are testing to consumers because we want to empower women to be able to find out valuable information about their bodies and be able to discuss them with their doctors. We also have integrated telehealth services, both in the United States and in the United Kingdom. We have a MedTech Innovation Briefing published by NICE in the United Kingdom, and we are supported innovation by the NHS. And we are running 4 clinical validation studies next year. We will be running next year in the UK in order to see how we can integrate the PDG test as a marker for detecting miscarriage. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Oana. Eva did get pregnant, and as a Swiss citizen, she had access to high-quality maternity care. And actually, pregnancy and childbirth used to be one of the leading causes of death for young women in the 19th century. So in the 19th century, out of 100,000 women, 500 to 1,000 would die related to pregnancy and childbirth. Now those numbers are much, much better. In Europe, it's 4 to 8, so that's a complete game changer, of course. There are however, some parts of the world where it's not so good, and there's still huge inequalities. For instance, even within the same country, like in the US, you are 4 times more likely to die in pregnancy and childbirth if you're a black woman compared to a white woman or a Hispanic woman. And there are countries where these numbers are much worse. And thanks to companies like Malaika, these things will soon change there as well. Lorraine, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for the slides. My name is Dr. Lorraine Muluka. I'm an obstetrician gynecologist from Kenya, co-founder and CEO of Malaika. We are on a mission to make the pregnancy journey safe and convenient for millions of women in sub-Saharan Africa. Next slide, please. And this is the problem that we're looking at, the extremely high maternal mortality ratio in sub-Saharan Africa. As you can see, this is close to 100 times higher what it is in Europe. And as a gynecologist, seeing that we are losing mothers is really devastating, knowing that most of these deaths can actually be avoided. Next slide, please. And so looking at the journey of the lady in sub-Saharan Africa, we realize that it is quite fragmented, broken in very many parts. It starts with the kind of information that she's having, not having right access to information, not really getting the right care at the facilities. And so utilizing technology, we are changing this narrative. With a smartphone, we connect the pregnant lady to a personal nurse midwife. It has been shown that having a pregnancy supported by a nurse midwife leads to a version of over 70% of the maternal mortalities. And she's there to guide this lady whenever she has any questions, making sure she's getting the right facilities for antenatal care as well as delivery. And we also offer a supportive community of other mothers where we encourage peer learning, bringing in health experts to accompany the mothers throughout this journey. And also being in the era of AI, next click please, we are using this for scalability, being able to deliver content to mothers in a language that they understand. So we follow up the mothers from the point whereby they realize they're pregnant all the way until their baby is 6 months old. And during this time, able to deal with lots of issues, including the anxiety in pregnancy that we have just been speaking about. Next slide, please. And so we are very ambitious. We are building a social unicorn, and our objectives are to generate impact, create attractive jobs, and also shareholder value. We realize that we cannot do this on our own. And so what we need to get there is more partnerships, additional investments. Next slide. And we are currently raising our pre-seed round. We are looking to close this. So if you may be interested in this, my co-founder Pascal is actually attending today in person, and you can be able to speak to him. And next year we'll be going out for a larger round, our seed round. Next slide. This is our team of co-founders. We are a very motivated team looking to reduce this burden of maternal mortality, and with experience in the maternal health space, also building femtech startups, as well as building the biggest community of pregnant women and parents in Kenya. So if it's something that would be of interest to you, please reach out to either myself or Pascal, and our contacts are on the next slide. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. So happy that you're doing what you're doing. So once Eva has children, she starts thinking it's pretty important that I stay alive. Slightly anxious after the pregnancy, of course, but also as she grows a bit older, there are a lot of things that she realizes how important it is. Of course, cancer is one of the first things, it's really on top of most people's minds. And in her generation, luckily, cervical cancer is no longer an issue because thanks to the new HPV vaccine, no one in Eva's generation will probably have cervical cancer anymore. She's a bit younger than us. So she's more lucky than we are. Breast cancer, on the other hand, she's still quite worried about. But how much does she really need to worry about breast cancer? PrediLife will help her answer that question. The stage is yours, PrediLife.
Thank you very much, Lisa, for your introduction. So I'm Briac Rouen, and I'm working from London for the French company PrediLife. And yeah, indeed, and unfortunately, breast cancer is the leading cancer among women today. You can go to the next slide. We know that 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer during their lifetime, which you can go to the next slide, sorry. This represents around 2 million new cases per year worldwide. We also know that more and more. Can you just put the next slide, please? I don't know if that works. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. However, breast cancer, we also know that more and more breast cancer occur before the age of 50, when the collective screening strategy in Europe is to invite women from the age of 50 to perform a mammogram every 2 or 3 years. But however, breast cancer can be well treated if detected early. It's estimated that there is 95% chance of cure if detected at an early stage, stage 1, avoiding AV and costly treatments. Next one, please. So there is therefore a real need to improve the breast cancer screening by encouraging its early detection. In order to reduce the number of metastatic cancers and thus the mortality and the mortality rate linked to this disease. So at Pretty Life, we have been working for 15 years on the development and the validation of a solution, a software called MammoRisk, which aim through a risk assessment to identify high-risk women from the general population in order to offer them a personalized and an adapted screening program. Next one, please. So basically, we combine big data and AI and proven medical techniques to assess from the age of 40 the woman's risk of developing breast cancer in order to personalize the screening. So to do this, we need to collect data. The first one is genetic data. We use a saliva sample to calculate a polygenic risk score. We use imaging data with the breast density obtained from a mammogram, and clinical data such as the family history, the age, etc. Next one, please. So we have adapted the use of our software to the routine practice of doctors as a predictive breast cancer checkup. So there are two main steps. The first one is the data collection, the genetic imaging and clinical data. And the second one is to deliver the result. The results are a risk score, an absolute risk score of developing breast cancer over 5 years, and a personalized screening program with the type and frequency of the screening. This predictive breast cancer checkup is a decision support tool for the doctor in their patient strategy of the screening. Next one, please. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, just to say that we actually propose this checkup directly in clinics and hospitals, but also now in companies directly through a full digital pathway. So we are marketing our solution in France and in some European country, but our ambition is to keep pushing our international development. So to this end, we are always happy to talk with investors. So investor or anyone, please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you Tech4Eva for this amazing topic and accelerator program. Thank you.
Thank you, Briac. Eva is a little bit disturbed because she actually got a quite high score, and there's not much she can do about if she's actually going to develop cancer or not. But there is something she can do to feel more empowered. And this is what Palpa will tell you about.
Thank you. Well, my name is Josefa. I'm the founder and CEO of Palpa. Palpa, next, please. Palpa's story started when Jovita, a very close person to me, felt something on her breast, but she kept telling herself it was a fat lump and ignored it. Years later, she found out that the same lump had evolved into a 4th-stage breast cancer. Next, please. Every 15 seconds, a woman like Jovita is diagnosed with this disease around the world. And if they detect on time, the survival rate is over the 95%. It is one of the type of cancer with best survival rate when it is detected early. But the problem is that more than 200,000 cases per year are diagnosed in women younger than 40 years old. So they can have mammograms in order to detect changes because of the density on their breast. And the only thing they can do it is a self-exam every month. But almost no women does it every month as we should. Next, please. So that is how we created Palpa, a device that it is a non-medical device. It is a training device to train breast self-exam during the shower routine. So more specifically, it is a breast-shaped soap container. So it simulates a breast, and inside of it, you can feel and touch a tumor, a simulation of a tumor. This tumor is very hard and it doesn't move. So you fill this breast with liquid soap and you can learn how to feel the tumor inside of it. So as you feel it and touch it, the soap is released through a massager. So you can massage your body in the shower, leave the product by the side, and then try to find something similar as the tumor, but in your own breast. Next, please. So some traction of the project, we've reached over 90,000 women in Chile. We've partnered with more than 250 companies, and 13 women have detected a tumor on time. So now the next steps is that we are looking to reach other countries. Now we recently launched in Spain, and also we export some devices to Switzerland. Thanks for a collaboration with companies there. And thanks Tech4Eva, because you open us very important doors in order to achieve our international goals, so we can convert breast self-exam in an habit since a younger age. And next, please, there is a testimony. She's Elisa. She told us that Palpa saved her life. She had never performed breast self-exam before, and she was given a device, and she detected breast cancer in time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I like the reaction, like, clearly.
Thank you so much, Josefa and Palpa. Now we're moving into the next phase of this, which is menopause. In her mid-40s already, Eva started feeling a bit different because her cycles got shorter and shorter. Because by the time that she will reach menopause, she will only have about 1,000 follicles left, and they produce much less estrogen. And less estrogen means that the follicle-stimulating hormone will simply explode, and this is actually forcing her body to mature more and more eggs, and that makes the speed of her cycle go up, so they become a bit shorter. Other signs that she's approaching menopause and perimenopause is that she gets a little bit irritable and she can't really handle all the stress as well. Because as I told you before, when you have less estrogen, you can deal less good with cortisol. This period can be quite a roller coaster in a woman's life, with many physical and psychological side effects. And Rue Medical now will talk to us about one of the particular discomforts of menopause. Rue, the stage is yours.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Nitya. I'm one of the co-founders of Rue Medical, and I'm joining you from London today. Thank you so much for having us here. Rue Medical is building both hardware and software solutions for menopausal women to help them through their journey and with different symptoms that they might face through their journey. Next slide, please. Imagine every cell in your body being on fire, your clothes soaked in sweat, and your entire face turned red. Every single person in the room staring at you. This is exactly what menopause feels like for 3 out of 4 women. These episodes that I just described are hot flashes, which last anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes at a time. It can happen 6 to 10 times a day for up to 4 to 8 years of a woman's life. They aren't just uncomfortable, but really create a domino effect on her quality of life, leading to loss of productivity, loss of self, insomnia when it happens at night, and really disrupts her daily life. Next slide, please. We didn't just take these facts at face value, but really went out there and did on-the-ground research to understand what women were really struggling with. And we came up with a couple of very unique insights. One, the amount of time women took in the healthcare system to actually get diagnosed with menopause, which is around 3 years in the UK. The second was how much hot flashes really impacted a woman's life on a day-to-day basis. And we've heard really unfortunate things from a lot of women that we've spoken to, where a lot of them have quit their jobs, their relationships have struggled, they've been on the verge of divorce just because of the toll menopause has taken on their lives. And finally, also how women were not feeling supported or comfortable at disclosing that they were menopausal or going through some kind of health issues at work. Next slide, please. So we built CoolZen. CoolZen is a smart wearable that does two simple things. One, it's able to automatically detect the onset of a hot flash episode when it comes on. Number two, it provides a localized cooling effect, which gives instant relief to the user by triggering the body's natural cooling mechanism to kick in and arrest the hot flash episode. The device also has embedded AI, which helps personalize this therapy to every single woman. Menopause is something that's very unique to every woman, and we cannot build a one-size-fits-all solution, and we understand that. CoolZen has patent-pending technology and has been CE and UKCA marked. Just like every wearable out there today, CoolZen comes along with a companion app, Unpause, that not only helps women manage their device, but also track their other menopausal symptoms and treatments they might be going through. What Unpause does is help women download a one-page menopause health report, which they can take along with themselves when they have a conversation with a healthcare professional to help increase that time to diagnosis. With all of the trials that we've done, CoolZen was able to bring down the average time of 3 to 5 minutes for a hot flash episode to well under 45 seconds at a much lower intensity. Meaning now, women can get a good night's sleep without waking up or go through their day without being disrupted. Next slide. We launched CoolZen just a couple of days ago for pre-orders on our website. Since we joined Tech4Eva, our journey has been quite a whirlwind, where we started pretty much during our development phase. And at the end of it, we've come out with a product that's actually available in the market today. We're also parallelly raising a seed round of £1 million that will help us launch and scale CoolZen across not just UK, but the rest of Europe as well. Thank you so much for having us. And if any of you feel like this might benefit someone, please share this with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And not only Eva is struggling with hot flashes, other prominent figures have gone through this as well, such as Michelle Obama, and Oprah Winfrey has also spoken openly about the issue. Michelle Obama even told President Obama about that probably most of his female employees, which were most in this particular age, probably were suffering by hot flashes. So he actually decided to turn the thermostat of the entire West Wing down, just for these women. That is service that we should appreciate. But it's not the case for everyone. And in case no one is turning the thermostat down for you, for your whole company, at least you can do it on your own, thanks to Ember Labs.
Hi, I'm Heather Ritchie. I'm representing Ember Labs today, and we improve lives through the power of temperature. We've heard the statistics today about the symptoms women in menopause really are suffering from, hot flashes being one of the most disruptive, also the sleep disturbances, night sweats and insomnia, increased stress and anxiety, and even brain fog. And women will suffer from these for 10 years or more on average, with few solutions in the market that really help across the multitude of symptoms these women suffer from. And that's a 1.1 billion women in menopause at this point in time. Next slide, please. We at Ember have also done our research, really looking at the qualitative and quality of life impacts that this is having on women. We hear all the statistics on productivity and place, but really it's also just a holistic quality of life impact, feeling unheard, unseen. Really, it's discouraging. And so we as a company looked at, what are women looking for to feel empowered? And that really is immediate relief and a sense of control over what's happening to their bodies, options that are natural and not only medicinal, and really convenience, and it fits into their daily lifestyle. So Ember has focused all of its research and design in that area. Next slide, please. Really, the key is the power of temperature. Temperature is a unique pathway to the brain. The research is relatively new, but really temperature is a means to make us feel better. It is not the problem in itself. Next slide, please. And Ember, as experts in using this temperature pathway, we've developed the technology that can effectively balance the autonomic nervous system to address the many complex symptoms that a woman going through menopause may face. How we do this is through our wearable product, Ember Wave. It's a wrist wearable at this time that applies dynamic temperature, and that is key. It is our patented waveform technology that delivers dynamic temperature that enables the effectiveness of our solution. Backed in science, specifically research on this pathway that was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine and Physiology in 2021, but also this core understanding that is change in temperature that actually affects change and not constant temperature. Next slide, please. Ember Wave has been in the market since 2018. We've developed 2 product generations. It is durable, it is long-lasting, it is effective. It provides on-demand natural relief for hot flashes and a host of other symptoms that women are suffering from during menopause. Through its companion app, it offers personalized control. It has been clinically validated as safe and effective in menopausal women, and we have 6 peer-reviewed publications, abstracts, and posters to demonstrate that. And importantly, with our 2nd generation that we launched a few years ago, we made sure it was a stylish design that worked into a woman's life and is something she was proud to wear. And that has been proven by what we're seeing in terms of adoption of our product today. Customers are actively heating and cooling for 5 to 6 hours a day, and we have logged over 12 million hours of thermal relief since the launch of our product on the market. And really excitingly is in terms of where we are headed next, Ember Labs has developed the ability to predict a hot flash before anyone would ever sense it. And our vision is to stop hot flashes from ever occurring with women in the future. Next slide. We are Ember Labs, and we improve lives through the power of temperature. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And despite popular belief, life doesn't end at menopause. It's actually a transition phase. And once all the symptoms are gone, Eva still has 40 amazing 40 amazing years, only one life, ahead of her to explore, to fill with meaning, to do exciting things. Her kids are gone. The husband is able to take care of himself. All this traditional stuff that women used to fill their lives with for so long. Now she's finally, it's really her time now. She can start a new education, do like my mom, do a PhD at 50, start a company, a femtech company to help other women, for instance. But to do that, she still has to stay fit. And she still needs to feel good about herself. And this is what Healthy Longer would like to have, one of the aspects of the very important aspects of this phase, so that Eve can be her full self. Healthy Longer, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Lisa. Good afternoon, everyone. Who doesn't know someone who is depressed, anxious, burned out, or a combination of those? Well, they are not alone. 40% of society suffers from mental conditions. This is why we have spent the last 5 years together with a great team of scientists and experts developing the first neurobiomarker assessment and nutritional treatment of mental conditions. Next, please. Sadly, today only 1 in 10 persons with mental conditions improve. There are a few reasons for that. First of all, only 25% actually seek help, and particularly medical help. And of those, only roughly 55 to 90% do not improve. today, there is no objective medical test in mental health. There is a very high rate of misdiagnosis, and therapies are often ineffective. Next, please. At Healthy Longer, we have discovered two particular new innovations. First, mental health can be measured with biomarkers in dry urine, which significantly improve the diagnosis. And second, based on that, we can personalize effective nutritional therapies. The critical importance of nutrition for mental health has been confirmed by more and more scientists in recent years. Let me share how it works. Next, please. With our patent-pending solution, patients complete a symptom questionnaire and take 4 dry urine samples at home. We combine those subjective symptoms and objective biomarker data and digitally produce a mental health assessment. Based on that, we personalize nutraceuticals or nutritional plans for an effective therapy. Next, please. Now, why is this transformational? Because first, this is the only mental health assessment based on objective biomarkers. And second, studies confirm that personalized nutrition is the most effective therapy to improve mental conditions in our scope. And last one, please. The negative impact of modern diet on mental health is confirmed by more and more psychiatrists around the world. We believe that everyone with mental conditions should be assessed early on for metabolic disorders of the nerve system. Please join our journey to transform mental health care. Thank you, and thank you very much to Tech4Eva team for all the support we have enjoyed over the last 9 months.
Thank you so much, Healthy Longer. And thanks to Healthy Longer and all these amazing companies that have been presented here today, Eva has managed to live a long, healthy, and engaging life. And now, when she's in her late 70s, she starts to calm down a little bit and might even look after her grandchildren between going out with her friends and ski touring. So thank you so much for presenting today, and thank you for listening, all of you.
And thank you, Lisa. Thank you. What a blast and what a great story of Eva. Okay, so here we are closing the first part of this event. So I invite you to take a short break. So if you're in this room, please feel free to stand up, engage conversation with your neighbors, and for those online, please be back in 15 minutes to continue this exciting program. Thank you. So thank you for coming back. We're going to start gradually. So please stand up. Great to have you back online. And today's event is also the closing ceremony of the 3rd edition of Tech4Eva and this accelerator program. So now we're going to invite the rest of the participants of this year to come on stage online to present this solution and the progress they've made over the last 9 months. So without further ado, I'm going to be welcoming Monica from Manina MedTech. Manina MedTech, thank you. Manina MedTech is a spin-off from Valdebron in Spain, and they've developed a novel biomarker technology to boost embryo transfer success rates during IVF treatments. So Monica, floor is yours.
Infertility is a global health problem affecting 1 in every 6 people worldwide. And in vitro fertilization, next. And in vitro fertilization, one of the preferred infertility treatments, has success rates below 40%. The process is long, 3 cycles on average, expensive, there are families that cannot even afford it, and emotionally devastating. 50% of patients give up. Next. The leading cause of IVF failure is embryo transfer, which depends on 2 main factors: embryo quality and uterine readiness for embryo transfer. Nowadays, it is possible to produce and select high-quality embryos, but there is no way to ensure that the embryo is transferred when the uterus is ready for embryo implantation. Next. Manina can help. Welcome to Synchrony. We seek to increase pregnancy rates by 30% by detecting the right timing for embryo transfer. Next. Synchrony is a first-in-class medical device that detects uterine readiness for embryo transfer at the day of embryo transfer. It is accurate, non-invasive, and results are immediate. Next. During the program, we have achieved relevant milestones. We got a positive international sales report for the patent protecting the method. We got a positive freedom to operate report also, and we got our patent published. We also developed the MVP of Synchrony, the hardware, the software, and the disposable. We got the approval of the regulatory agency to start our next clinical trial with the MVP in 72 patients of IVF. And we got 2 million euros in funding, both private and public. Next. And we would like to thank Tech4Eva for the help in this program. Particularly, I would like to thank Jerome for the monthly meetings we got with him. Thanks for the generosity of sharing your knowledge. We had discussed forming of board of directors and how to deal with negotiation of shareholder agreements and so on and so on. And also, I would like to thank all the fellows of the cohort for the P2P sessions that has been a safe place to exchange our challenges and look for help and be helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we are joined on Zoom by MIM Fertility. It's a Polish startup that developed AI machine learning technologies to improve the accuracy, cost, and speed in the diagnosis and treatment of fertility. Please, Ursula.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm sitting in Warsaw. I'm a bit sorry that I'm not with you on live. However, it's a great pleasure, anyways, to be able to introduce to you the MI Fertility and what we are doing at MI Fertility and what happened actually in the last 9 months in our company. So I'm Ula. I'm co-founder, one of the co-founders of MI Fertility. I thank you actually very much to the last speaker, to the co-founder of Manina, because she already kind of gave you a very brief introduction of the problems that are that touch upon the fertility or infertility patients, what kind of burden it brings to the patient and to the starting from the very beginning, yes, we are MI Fertility. We're AI enhanced. We care about AI enhanced fertility care, and we're actually a deep tech company. Specializing in developing cutting edge AI software platforms that support eventually fertility professionals in their daily life. Our mission is actually to help patients to make next slide, please. To make the fertility treatment more effective, more accessible, and less costly. It was already mentioned that that fertility process, that the procedure is very burdensome as it comes to emotions. It's also burdensome because it's very costly. It's around $10,000 on average. It's time consuming. It's in most cases, it's run with time. So the patient, when she's over 40, she has actually kind of 5% chances to get pregnant. I'm ex-patient myself. I have 2 kids from IVF. I've been there. I know the process, how it looked like, and actually the company was born based on my own experience. And because we are 25 exceptional machine learning experts, we've decided to change that, to change the landscape of fertility care. So today we have 2, I would say, ready to sell technologies on board. One of them is EmbryoAid. The second one is called FolliScan. If I may stay still with the previous slide, I'll be more than happy. Could you please go back? Thank you, because here I have this on my slides. We have one technology, which is EmbryoAid. We've been building this technology for around 2.5 years with the whole team of ML experts and fertility professionals. So EmbryoAid aim is to assess the quality of an embryo. So actually, as the former speaker already said, it's also like the success rate of the IVF procedure is based in around 60%, depends on a healthy embryo. So we look at this embryo. We want to help. We support today's embryologists and the clinics with our technologies. You need the image or the time lapse of 5-day embryo, and you can in a couple of seconds you can say if this embryo is a good quality embryo that will implant or will not implant in the woman's uterus. It's super important. So the other technology is FolliScan, is also based on very advanced computer vision algorithms, and with FolliScan we are kind of we're supporting here the ultrasonographist, and we're supporting the fundamental examination which is used and which is done in every IVF procedure, which is the counting and measuring of follicles. Every woman has follicles in the ovaries, and they are stimulated and they are growing, and we need to know how many of them will eventually be aspirated from the ovaries, and how many of them will develop to the embryo, of course, after fertilization. So with FolliScan, we fully automate this examination. We've developed a software that is designed to identify, calculate, and measure follicles of all sizes in a 2 or 3D scene sweep during this ultrasound transvaginal examination. I would say that additionally, so we with our technologies, we support doctors, we support experts. However, we want to make the whole process more efficient, more cost effective, and more accessible to patients. Next slide, please. All right, so actually at MI Infertility for the last 9 months, it happened really a lot of things. So with EmbryoAid, we are having an MDR certified product ready to sell, so we went global. So I think this is, like, for us, the most important aspect of our work, and you know, we see that we are gathering the fruit of our really hard work. We are doing also prospective testing. However, we validated our technology in retrospectively with many clinics all over the world. With FolliScan, we are in the middle of a certification process. However, we are into trials with many clinics in Europe, in Latin America, and Middle East. Other achievements. We've been awarded, our technology was awarded, FolliScan. It was awarded Best Innovation Award by European Fertility Society this year. We've been chosen as a company, actually the only one from Europe, from middle and small size companies, to be the advisor to Ursula von der Leyen when it comes to global gateway program. I'm very proud of that. Thirdly, we've been winners of 2023 Technology Fast 50 Award, recognized by Deloitte. And finally, it's not on my list here. However, we've managed to build a medical advisory board with members of these are senior doctors from fertility world, and we've reached with them an agreement that they will also help us to build another technologies that we are another different projects on the fertility that we will develop next year. We've been very much traveling a lot of, we've been to 11 conferences all over the world and speaking about fertility and AI solutions, what actually machine learning and artificial intelligence can bring into this world. So I'm happy to kind of be part of it and to build this awareness and to show that it's these trustworthy tools are ready to use. Next slide, please. Okay, how Tech4Eva helped us? Yes, this is a very important question that I would like to make a statement, very clear statement. Actually, we've been participating in other accelerators in Europe. However, I must state that Tech4Eva is the best one that we've been participated so far. I would like to thank Simone for the whole program, for the organization. I would especially give my thanks to Reto Hartmann, our mentor. We had great discussions. There was, instead of sometimes, you know, just having like 45 or even half an hour, we were talking for many hours. And Reto, really thanks to you. I guess I've made some right decisions on my way. So the whole networking, the practical know-how, and I think also very important is that we eventually we are building already a very, I would call it MedFemTech community of startups, of super fantastic companies that are supporting each other and helping each other and bringing through our ideas and our concepts and eventually our products into the market. So thank you very much, and I wish everyone all the best, and I keep fingers crossed for all the startups. Thank you.
Thank you, Ula. So now we're going to be welcoming the third startup, NeuroCore Femtech. So that's the Women Health business line of NeuroCore. That's a UK-based startup that is developing personalized digital solutions for menstrual health. And we'll hear from Rick, the co-founder and CEO, throughout the short video.
Despite many medical advances, the gender health gap and menstrual health issues still divide society and lead to inequality. It's time to shape the future. Welcome to the mission of NeuroCore Femtech. From the 55% of women and girls who suffer disruptive period pain, to the 190 million endometriosis sufferers, there is a lack of consistently effective treatments for many female health conditions. As a therapeutic, NeuroCore Femtech is tackling this with an initial focus on the global period pain market, which is expected to grow at a CAGR 7.8%, reaching $7.6 billion in 2028. We also see the potential to address other health needs, such as the symptomatic relief of endometriosis and postpartum recovery. Our solution is to use the latest advancements in bioelectronic technology to create non-invasive, safe, effective, non-pharma therapies for female health conditions, all with high degrees of safety and efficacy. NeuroCore Femtech is proud to present our first solution, Mina, a world-first therapeutic wearable device and companion app that provides users with on-demand treatments tailored to their needs. Mina is unique. The MENA app allows tracking and symptom monitoring like the leading tracking apps, but its primary function is to treat, not just track. The data from each user is directly put to use, enabling treatments to become personalized and tailored to meet the needs of each individual. Unlike any other device on the market, the MENA treatments serve as a therapeutic that aim to reduce and prevent pain from manifesting in the first place, rather than just trying to block pain once it becomes problematic. MENA will remain ahead of app-based products and pain-blocking wearables, as they do not target the cause of painful conditions, and, as our data grows, our treatments will perpetually evolve. NeuroCore Femtech's team has strong scientific and business expertise, including successful and award-winning pain solutions in other markets. Sharing foundational technology, this speeds and de-risks development of MENA. NeuroCore Femtech is opening a late-stage seed round to complete development of the MENA app, whilst advancing the hardware to full-scale manufacturing for launch into key international markets. Invest now in NeuroCore Femtech to be part of the Femtech revolution and lead at the forefront of women's health technology.
Now, we'll have another pre-recorded video, this time from Samphire Neuroscience. It's a nanotechnology-based startup from the UK that developed a wearable, non-invasive device addressing premenstrual low mood, anxiety, and PMS.
Hi, my name is Amila Radita. I am a neuroscientist and the co-founder and CEO of Samphire Neuroscience. At Samphire Neuroscience, we're trying to address the fact that most women won't have solutions for their women's health needs that have been neglected before. We believe that menstrual health is mental health. In fact, 4 out of the 5 concerns that bother women the most around their periods are mental rather than physical, such as low mood, anxiety, irritability, anger, instability, and throughout. We know that about 82% of women self-identify as experiencing these symptoms based on a survey of over 32,000 women in the Netherlands. Furthermore, we know that the average woman will lose over 23 days every single year of productivity, every single year, just to PMS symptoms alone. And if any of that sounds surprising, it's because 76% of them would never tell their boss that that's the case. And so because of that, we developed the Samphire headband. The Samphire headband is our proprietary neurotechnology device that is completely wearable and looks like this hairband right here. You wear it on the top of your head, and with 20-minute sessions of stimulation, you're able to relieve the symptoms of PMS and menstrual pain, controlled by the 2 different parts of the hairband. This makes it the first medical solution for PMS symptoms, such as low mood, anxiety, insomnia, and irritability, as well as reduces pain sensitivity, which leads to most women not needing to take painkillers during their periods as well. So far, over the last 18 years that we've been in activity, we have received UK grants that have helped us in our R&D process. We have built up our proprietary prototypes. We have patent pending technology since then, and at the moment we are undergoing our EU CE marking as well as US FDA clearance for our Class 2A medical device. We're excited to be joining and we're excited to be launching in the EU and the US in Q1 2024. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Samphire Neuroscience. So now it's my pleasure to welcome Eva from Wake Up Pelvic. So Wake Up Pelvic is a Swiss digital health startup that is helping and supporting women in achieving their pelvic physiotherapy goals. So Eva,
thank you, Jerome. Hello, my name is Eva, and I'm excited to introduce Wake Up Pelvic. Imagine you had a physiotherapy appointment, and you received a sheet with exercises to do at home, and found yourself grappling with a piece of paper in the digital age. It's outdated, inefficient, and it's very difficult to build an exercise routine like that. At Wake Up Pelvic, our mission is to digitalize the exercise prescription process for pelvic physiotherapy. We are addressing a crucial gap in the market by focusing on women who suffer from pelvic dysfunction, a group often overlooked. This includes issues such as urinary incontinence and pelvic pain, which affect a staggering 1 in 3 women at some point in their lives. With our solution, physiotherapists can create exercise programs for their patients in a few clicks and send them directly to their patient's phone. It's a game changer for the patient because now they can have the program on their phone that is personalized for them. And there are gamification elements and behavioral change elements to help them to incorporate the exercises into their daily routine. We are collaborating with leading Swiss physiotherapy associations to build our product, and our goal is to scale beyond pelvic physiotherapy. We came to Tech4Eva with a goal to refine our business model, and we've been able to achieve that and test it with the market, thanks to our amazing coaches and mentors in the program. We really enjoyed the 9-month duration of the program because it really helps you to focus on building your startup and receive help and support as and when you need it. Tech4Eva is not just an accelerator, it's an ecosystem, and it puts you as a startup at the center of it, and it provides you amazing resources. So you have a dedicated mentor with whom you can catch up and who can provide you amazing advice. You're also connected with amazing experts who can introduce you to even a wider network. And you are also connected to other femtech startups with whom you can brainstorm solutions together. And you are invited to the latest events. It's been a fantastic journey for Wake Up Pelvic, and I want to say thank you to everyone who supported us. And please connect if you would like to learn more about our project. Thank you.
We hear now from another startup that addresses pelvic pain. Hale has developed a platform providing personalized mental health to improve women's quality of life, and we'll see a pre-recorded video.
Hi everyone, my name is Gaia and I'm the founder of Hale, the virtual clinic for female pain conditions. So our goal is to redesign female pain journeys end to end by making them more efficient for the system and more effective for patients. So starting from chronic gynecological conditions like endometriosis and vulvodynia, we are building a consumer-facing platform that guides patients end to end by shortening their diagnostic times and getting a really personalized treatment on subscription. In 2023, we raised our first angel round, we built our foundational team, and we released our first product into the market, which is an all-in-one app to manage pain at home. And after just 2 months from launch, we reached more than 2,000 users registered in the platform. We are growing revenues on both membership and online consultations and found our most efficient acquisition channel. We are also proud to have closed some first pilots with physical clinics to close our user journeys. Last but not least, we were part of this Tech4Eva cohort this year, which provided, among all things, some of the best advisors that we have ever met so far. So we think that femtech is a rising ecosystem, and it's extremely difficult to find both peers and experts that can actually think and can actually understand your specific challenges related to the industry and act towards it and help it tangibly. So Tech4Eva gave us this, and we hope to maintain these relationships in the future as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaia, and thank you, Hale. And we're coming to the last startup of this first group, Beyond Genomics. Beyond Genomics is a Swiss clinical stage startup that is democratizing morphomics and telomeres analysis for human diagnosing. We'll hear from Miriam, their co-founder and CEO.
1 couple out of 6 is infertile, and this number is increasing yearly. But do you know what's worse than having such a medical condition? Absence of diagnosis, also known as idiopathic infertility. That's what 1 woman out of 5 and 1 man out of 2 have to go through. In other terms, no available test in the market can explain the reason behind their condition. That leads to years of medical wandering and guesswork-based treatment. At Beyond Genomics, we have developed the only test in the world capable of diagnosing every infertility, idiopathic included. In fact, the common denominator between infertile patients, idiopathic or not, is a defect in DNA damage repair and premature aging. aging is reflected in what is known as aging hallmarks, whereas DNA damage repair is reflected in telomeres, which are the end gaps of our chromosomes. But there was no technology in the market sensitive enough, yet scalable, capable of analyzing these biomarkers. It took us 30 years, but we have invented one, and clinically validated it for infertility, but not only. Given that your telomeres and aging hallmarks are synchronized within your body, we only need one blood drop to assess whether you are fertile or not, and or to explain your infertility if it is idiopathic, to better guide you towards a personalized treatment. Our technology is the market leader in telomeres analysis and is patented internationally and nationally granted, clinically validated for infertility, among others, and ongoing FDA approval. Founded only 2 months ago, we are already selling our tests in collaboration with 2 Swiss clinics. We are financially supported by major institutions, including Swiss Ministry of Economy and the Swiss Innovation Agency. We are open for collaborations, and may you need to assess your fertility status, our tests are available for sale. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam, and thanks to all for this great and very inspiring presentation and great testimonials as well. So we're fully energized for the years to come. And as we're talking about the future, let's a bit now look in terms of what we can do further collectively to improve women's health in Switzerland and beyond. And for that, I'll hand over to Lisa.
Thank you, Jérôme. It's my pleasure to introduce a short break from this startups presentation to have an inspirational session about how we can join forces to improve women's health, especially here in the Swiss market. Discussing with me before experts in their respective fields, so please welcome Heike Donninger, partner and specialist for healthcare at the Boston Consulting Group. We'll have Lan Zuo Gillet, Deputy Managing Director of the EPFL Innovation Park. We have Jérôme Marietto, Director of Health and Prevention for Private Clients at Groupe Mutuel. And joining us on Zoom is Raymond Uit de Bulten, Pregnancy Plus for Business Leader and Tech4Eva Mentor from Philips. Welcome, please have a seat. So my first question goes to Heike. At the Boston Consulting Group, you've mapped the femtech sector in Europe and Switzerland. Can you tell us about your findings?
Yeah, that's correct. So we mapped it globally, Europe and Switzerland. And actually there were 4 key findings that really characterizes this dynamic market. The first one is the demand for global health overall is really female. So what we find is that 70% of digital therapies is really used by females at an average age of 45 years. That means that females have an above average openness to really use digital therapies. And that makes it clear that it's a really attractive market to design and develop and bring to the market products that are specifically for women and women's health. The second finding was that, and it was clear from the presentations today, that femtech is really a growth market. So I think it has been underestimated for many years, but recently there was a real growth push. So since 2015, the market has really doubled. So we had roughly 600 companies worldwide in 2015, and now it's 1,300 or more than that. And also risk capital investments have tripled. And maybe even more important, looking forward, the projections say that the market will continue to grow at 15% per year. So that means there's a lot of potential in the market. The third finding, and I think I don't have to explain much, we heard it today, is that the market is really diverse. So if you look at the lifespan of a woman, there are many unmet needs, many solutions that can help, and there's a high degree of diversity. So in our research, we said there are 20 segments in the lifespan of a woman, which gives a lot of opportunities to develop solutions. And what we found is, and that became also clear today, is that there are some areas that are pretty well served, like fertility, becoming a mother, maternity, childbirth, and others that are less served. So in our research, it was mainly menopause, but I think that's starting to change now. We had a couple of solutions today already, and I think that's a segment that gets much more attention. And then, last but not least, I would like to mention, I think it's striking that leadership is really female in that femtech segment. If you compare it to other startup sectors and industries, there's a really high share of female founders, and I think that's really great.
Jérôme, through Tech4Eva and your clients, you've also know the femtech sector in Switzerland quite well. Can you confirm Heike's findings?
Yeah, we started quite simply with a common sense observation that women's health was completely neglected. And if you look today, after 3 years, the confirmation, the figures, and the way it developed, it shows simply that the market is exploding. So there is a growth, and I think it's a great signal. Of course, the only men in the room feel a bit awkward, but do believe us, we do really strive to increase this segment. We have been accompanying a few companies. We have been also building collaboration, because our strong belief nowadays is that using or being able to answer the real pains of women is using the best companies for that, and that's startups. That's what Heike mentioned. Leading companies have also women management. They better understand these pains. We are collaborating directly with you. So we have, for instance, a direct collaboration with Palpa. We offer to all our women employees a Palpa. It's a simple solution, but believe me, it brings something, it helps. We collaborate with PrediLife. We collaborate with Aspivix. We soon collaborate with Aspivix. We are still trying to find a way to cover it. So direct collaboration is one way. The other way is ecosystems. You are the proof that co-petition is a great place and a great approach to improve. We also do our co-petition with an ecosystem, Compassana. We try to work with direct competitors to solve key issues of the health system. Women's health belongs to key issues of the health system. And the last one is we still are a company. We would like to develop, to grow, so we are even assessing joint ventures or acquisition. So that's the way we foresee the development of the market.
Thanks. My next question goes to Raymond on Zoom. Philips is already active in Switzerland. You've been also a Tech4Eva mentor. What is your perspective on the Swiss market?
Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry for not being present locally there. I also feel like I'm way too big on that screen there, so that is a bit uncomfortable, but good to see you all. So first thing, just a quick view on how we see Philips in the women's health space. So we are very invested in health tech as a whole. Health tech has been primary focus for us for the last couple of years, and from that point of view, women's health has become very important for us also, because obviously with 50% of the population, it should not be niche. So that's something that we're very invested in. I was very fortunate to be part of, I think it was actually 2 years ago, one of the first Tech4Eva cohorts as a mentor. That was amazing. So from that point of view, got to see a lot of great companies and the investment happening in the space. The other thing with specifically Switzerland for us is that we now have a partnership with Groupe Mutuelle, and we found in Groupe Mutuelle a very strong partner and partner in crime when it comes to women's health in general. A company such as us that also is invested into this space, and that was very unique for us. We recently have been investing more into the insurance space, really seeing that as a key gap between healthcare and consumer products when it comes to women's health. And we focus on the insurance space because we see that that is a way how we can drive further access to care. And with Groupe Mutuelle, we found a partner that was equally invested in improving lives, in improving these very specific needs. And we see that also if you look at other insurance companies in Germany, France, etc., there's still so much to be done. So from that point of view, I would say the Swiss market is very advanced, and we're very happy to be working on that together with our partners.
Lon, we've just heard the Swiss market is advanced. You are at the heart of our country's famous innovation. What do you think are the advantages that Switzerland can offer to companies?
Thank you for the question. I think, first of all, we have to mention that Switzerland has been ranked #1 in terms of innovation for many consecutive years worldwide. So, which means that Switzerland can offer a very rich ecosystems, driving principally by the large pharma, life science companies. And also, if we look into Swiss Romandie, there are a very strong life science cluster called BioAlps, which unites 1,000 companies. And also, the other aspect, or what Switzerland can offer, is that, of course, everybody knows Switzerland has a very stable political regime, which bring a lot of talents into Switzerland. So that if we're adding to also the universities here, world-famous university, bring together a lot of talents. And also, I must say that Switzerland is a really bottom-up country, so there are lots of offer for whoever would like to setting up a company here. I'm not doing the promotion for Switzerland, but still, I would like to say a lot of offer in terms of coaching, in terms of support, in terms of fundings. So being an expert of Swiss Innovation Agency, I could also highlight that if femtech company come to set up in Switzerland, you will get funding, direct funding support, and you could also have dedicated coach to accompany you for a couple of years. So lots of offer. Not saying that Switzerland is a big market, it's a small market indeed, but if you come here to have a subsidiary or anything, you will be getting to the very rich ecosystem, help your startup to grow worldwide.
We've also heard from Raymond about the importance of partnerships, finding partners that have the same mindset. What is the EPFL Innovation Park strategy on partnerships?
EPFL Innovation Park has a very unique settings of being in the middle of the three very important actors. First of all, we are very close. We are at EPFL campus, so we're very close. EPFL 360 over, probably, world-leading laboratories. And in our park, we have 26 large corporates, has their corporate innovation center here, and also enjoy over 200 startups here. So I would say partnership is our DNA. We try to facilitate the three parts to collaborate with each other. We have launched a Tech4Growth initiative back to 2018 to try to put the actors together to discuss how to understand each other and how to develop business by leveraging mutual networks. So, and also we try to use partnership as a leverage to build our own programs. Actually, many of our own programs, including this one, Tech4Eva, I can also cite Tech4Trust and Future for Health Grant. All our programs are built with a model of partnership between startup corporates, which means that we bring corporates, their expertise, their industrial know-how into the program that help startups to grow. And in return, corporates get access to the new technologies and to also have the talents from startups. So yeah, as I said, it's the key part of our strategy of development.
Thank you. Heike, you've mentioned that in your analysis, you found that some areas there are more startups in than in others. You saw that in Switzerland specifically, there's a lot of that target pregnancy and fertility. How come?
Yeah, I think that's the case in Switzerland, but also globally. I think it's really one of the focus areas. And I think the reason is, I mean, it's clearly a very important phase in a woman's life and in a couple's life, obviously. And it also has a very positive connotation. Plus, as we heard earlier, it's an issue for many women and couples. So I think that's the reason why there's such a strong concentration. Yeah, and I think that's also good because it's also commercially obviously attractive, an attractive field for startups. But then on the other hand, I mean, you mentioned it, we also see underserved areas, and we had menopause, endometriosis. Specifically in Switzerland, we see relatively few startups that deal with cancer. Like globally, that's really a big field and also a big investment area. I think that's something that's relatively underserved in Switzerland. And I think it's really important to have the balance and really take a comprehensive approach and really try to, you know, the whole femtech space to cover the whole lifespan and take a comprehensive approach. So I think it's clear and also good on the one hand that there's a concentration in that fertility, childbirth, maternity area, but it's also equally important to really take a broad approach and cover the whole span. But I think that's ongoing, as we heard today. Yeah.
Yeah, I can confirm pregnancy is a really important moment in life. Jérôme, do you have a special offer for your clients to kind of celebrate or help in that moment?
Pregnancy is a key moment of life, and even, believe me, for a man, you learn the meaning of the word being useless. So basically, it's considered today as an illness, and I find it a bit, we find at Groupe Mel, it's a stupid approach, because it's a great moment. But what we try to do and what we did, we try to figure out with women, what could we do to improve this moment, to make it more of an experience, as based on all the knowledge we have as an insurer. As I said, we insured more than hundreds of thousands of women, so we know where are the pain points. We have some facts, but adding this to the experience of women helps a lot. And what we developed, we decided to collaborate with Philips for two reasons. The one is Philips is extremely well known in the topic. They know what they do. They have done it since years. Secondly, they have simply the best app in Europe. And an app is today a very powerful tool you can have in your pocket, supporting you, helping you in those moments. We did this. It seems to work quite well. So our clients access the premium services from Apps Philips. They have even discount on Philips product. So that's a bit for the marketing aspect. But the colleagues went to Germany and they won a prize with it. So the public prize of ITC was deserved to Philips and the idea of Groupe Mutuel. And I think it shows simply the attractiveness and the fact that if you go to the real deep pain and the simple common problem women and couple have in those process, you get rewarded. And as we want to have an holistic approach, we didn't simply focus on the pregnancy itself. We also went to doula, so women might know what doulas are, but they help and accompany the pre-pregnancy process, and it makes it as a best experience, so to say, a better experience. It has been technically proven, so there have been studies for that, but not only, it's also a bit based on common sense, as I mentioned previously, so it's our belief that it helps, and if it helps, it's good for it, and we try to strive this element.
We've heard about the app. Raymond Philipp has created the most used pregnancy app in Switzerland. What are its success factors?
Yeah, so it wasn't an overnight success. I think that is the most important thing to know, because we now have the app about 6 years, but it was developed already 10 years ago. So that means is that it's been around for a long time. 10 years is roughly also the age of the App Store. So that means is that there's a lot of experience that goes into it. It's also for us a success story of what an acquisition can do, because we acquired the company originally and then developed it further with the same people, focusing really on the core needs. I would say one of the success stories is that it strikes a really good balance between both health and engagement. So it fulfills a very clear need. This journey of pregnancy can be exciting and can be scary. There's so many elements to it. Every journey is unique. And the core thing that we do is we fulfill that need. So we focus on making sure that it actually it's an engaging journey, that we help with information, that we help with education, but we also just create engagement and entertainment along the way, because that drives engagement and that also helps that people absorb the information. I think that's one thing. The other aspect of it is really our holistic approach, because we take an approach that is focusing on nutrition, on mental health, on sleep, physical activity, etc. So we take really that holistic approach, and that captures people's attention. That's also in the mindset of people nowadays is that it is that holistic approach, it's not just one element that you need to go into. I think another portion of the success, like you mentioned, Pregnancy Plus luckily is one of the most used apps, and it's the largest pregnancy community in Western Europe. So we have about 80% of all pregnancies on the app in Western Europe, 74% specifically in Switzerland. Part of that, I think, is due to how we look at our demographics, because if you have 74% of the population on it, it basically means you need to cater to all of those individual needs. So that means is that the app is meant to be very representative. It looks at people from different ethnicities, backgrounds, socioeconomic status. We very strongly support the LGBTQI plus community. We look at single moms, we look at same-sex couples, and we cater to the entire need. I think that's really important for us, that everybody feels represented in that journey, and if they use the app, they see themselves basically in their own experience. And one last thing is actually that unlike many of the things that you typically imagine with a corporation, Pregnancy Plus as a team is still very much operated as a startup or scale up at this point, because we still hold the aspects of agile development, very much focusing on clear problems to solve and quick iteration to heart. And that within the corporate space is very challenging and difficult to do. It's something that we internally always keep on fighting on making sure that we do that. But it is part of the success, because that continuous iteration makes sure that we continuously evolve the solution also with, well, looking at best-in-class examples. So when we look at our app, for instance, we don't compare ourselves only with other pregnancy apps. We don't compare ourselves with just the main competitors in the market. We actually compare ourselves also with, for instance, a Spotify or a TikTok, because that is how people experience content consumption. That's how they experience UX, UI. So those are our examples. So we really look at what is best in class and measure ourselves accordingly. So it's a lot of factors coming in, but definitely not an overnight success, if you will.
You just mentioned the startup spirit, and you come from a big player in the market, but we have a lot of startups here. So what are your advice, or is your advice for new founded companies?
Well, I think Tech4Eva is one of the best starting points. So get yourself immersed in that ecosystem. I think one of the startups just now in their pitch also mentioned the ecosystem. I think that is very important, even for us. We get so much value out of connecting with others, and the network behind it, the experience, that is critical. I think from the other perspective, I think one of the things that we still need to find a way to solve within the entire women's health and femtech space is the business model. I think Heike just mentioned it also. There at the moment is a big surge still in, for instance, fertility and pregnancy solutions. And my personal perspective is that is because there's a very strong business model also behind it. But there's so much more to women's health that still needs to progress. And if you look at, for instance, consumer products, one of the things that I struggle with, and one of the things that I would love startups to help us find an answer for, is that a lot of these solutions still cost quite a lot of money for women. And one of the things that we, as an industry, realize is that there is a lack of solutions for women in this space. There's a lack of access to these solutions. And as we create more and more products for it, how do we make that accessible? Because if we have great new solutions that cost a lot of money, we're actually also creating a divide. And the logic behind that is very simple, because people who need it, well, arguably most women would benefit from a lot of these solutions, but not everybody has access to it. So how do you do that? So perhaps working closer with other types of organizations in the insurance space, in the provider space, in collaborative partnerships, etc., might be very important. I think that is a clear thing. When it comes more to the healthcare space, and I see a lot of startups already doing that, but their collaboration is even more key, because that is all about integration seamlessly with existing healthcare pathways. That is incredibly difficult to do. So getting that expertise on board very soon, so the right board of directors that can help you with that, the ambassadors, but also doing your pilot so that you build up the proof points on how easy your solution enter the market. I think that would be one of the key things. And like also on our side, we are a health tech company. That is a space, because it's so highly regulated, to move into it, having to deal with reimbursement pathways, having to deal with existing EMR systems, that's really complicated. So invest in that network there also to make that happen. I would say those are the main things for me, but starting with Tech4Eva, I think, is a great starting point.
Heike, BCG has also a lot of experience in this sector. What are your tips for startups?
I think Raymond just gave the perfect example in summary. So, but overall, I would say, I mean, the first important point is desirability. Yeah? So, question is, does the solution really make the life of a woman a lot better? Can we reach the woman with our solution? Is this an unmet need, so something that's maybe not yet or not well covered in the value chain? So I think that's really the first question. And also, is the solution that we have really customer centric? Yeah? Is it user friendly? Then the second part is viability. Do we really generate value? Can we demonstrate and measure the value so that people also can see what we are really doing? And I think the third one that really goes into the business model direction, is it feasible? Yeah? Do we have the right technology? Are there any regulatory challenges that we have to address and solve? Who will actually pay for the solution? So is it really the end user, or might we need a health insurance payer who we want to collaborate with? And also, do we maybe need a partner to scale? I mean, you said that in the beginning, Lan, working together with bigger corporations, might be beneficial. So thinking about this in the very beginning, these questions, I think, is really a key success factor, for building a scalable startup. Yeah.
Thanks. We are a bit late with our timing. Jérôme, Lan, do you have any closing remarks?
Well, for me, I think the key message is that continue to work and think out of box. We see there are a lot of potential for femtech growth, either in the pregnancy, fertility, or other phase of woman development. So I would encourage a lot of people to try to think of out of box and not only working on yourself, think about other startups in the same sectors. There are a lot of synergy, I'm sure, that you combine with, first of all. And also, for those who are already engaged in the business, probably the best way also is to get some clinic evidence, to try to get connected with healthcare providers, get a validation, make your business case a strong case, and then work in open innovation way and collaborate with each other. Yeah.
And maybe on my side, stamina, keep on. You're making life of human being better, so it's a fantastic idea. It's going to be up and downs and downs and downs and up again. So just stamina, 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 and congratulations for your courage.
Thanks to our 4 panelists. Thank you, Raymond, for joining us on Zoom.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, and thanks again for this fantastic panel. So we're entering now the last miles of today's event. And before moving back to our startups with the next 7, as I see a bit like tired faces, and you still have 20 minutes to wait for the closing drinks, let's take 30 seconds for a short mental break. So I invite you online and you here just to close your eyes. Yeah, it's not joking, so close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths, okay? So inhaling deeply, exhaling at your own pace. Last time. Yeah, we've talked a lot about mental break, and breathing is an important area. And I want you to stay mentally engaged because we have 7 very interesting and international startups to hear from now, including Adura Health, Lumawarm, Neurora, EV, Intignius, Self-Care, and Care Mother.
Yes, the first one is Adira Health. We'll see a video. They developed a digital solution to promote healthy lifestyle changes and empower pregnant women diagnosed with high blood pressure.
Hello, my name is Mary Villalos. I'm the CEO of Adira Health, and we provide a personalized data-driven blended care platform for pregnant moms who suffer from high blood pressure during and after pregnancy. Before sharing a short product video with you, let me highlight 3 important numbers that show the magnitude of the problem of hypertensive pregnancy disorders. 1 in 12 pregnancies are affected from this dangerous and in some cases deadly condition. 1 in 6 babies are born preterm due to preeclampsia. And the US alone spends 11 billion each year to fight for healthy moms and stronger babies. Yet the good news is 3 out of 4 maternal deaths are preventable if there were better holistic predictive models starting early in pregnancy, predictive models based on non-invasive, remotely collected data, and the ability to drive more self-care thanks to early awareness of signs and symptoms.
Mothers are the backbone of the family, yet lack quality perinatal care. Women at risk of hypertensive pregnancies and their caretakers lack real-time information, trustful communication, and affordable care. Our digital companion provides safe antenatal care, reducing anxiety and mitigating emergent health situations. Doctors recommend our app based on a preeclampsia risk screening test and begin a non-invasive, data-driven pregnancy program. Our perinatal coaches leverage health data with predictive algorithms, enabling personalized, blended care. Together, our solution improves insights for doctors and women to lower complications. Join us in empowering women to improve our future health span.
Now, we invested more than 1.5 years in researching the market, conducted more than 100 interviews, and connected with private clinics and hospitals who want to drive now our first pilot study. Next to that, we can count with CSM, our first-line gynecologists, and the Lux on partners who support us in building a holistic preeclampsia model. Our next milestone is handing in an InnoSwiss innovation project in Q1 2024, supported through a first little research study that is conducted right now. And it is time to say thank you. We truly enjoyed working with Tech4Eva and the amazing people behind the scene. Let me put a spotlight on the 3 most important drivers who enabled Adira Health to progress. First, their excellent and strong network to industry partners and research institutes. Many of the introductions helped us move forward. Then the global exposure with the diverse Tech4Eva roadshows and the specific learning opportunities. And finally, a group of like-minded and a fun cohort, the wealth of dedicated and brilliant startuppers enabling personal learning, collaboration, and co-creation. And finally, I invite you to join us in making high-risk pregnancy safer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mari. So now it's my pleasure to welcome on stage Loana from Le Mawomb, coming from Paris. So Le Mawomb is a French medtech that patented a photobiomodulation technology to help regenerate damaged endometrium. So thank you.
Thank you, Jerome, very much. Oh, I don't know if I can handle that. Yeah. All together with, can I just give you instructions?
I can be your assistant.
This is like the best coach that could ever be for any startup. So high recommendation for Jerome. And he's my assistant today, apparently. So I'm the founder of Le Mawomb. My name is Loana Hasseltine. And actually, Le Mawomb was born through my personal journey of infertility, for which I was not a champion. And so I decided to make that failure a success for others. And so my type of infertility is called tooth and endometrium. And after 2 years, basically, I had no problems infertility-wise. I mean, I wasn't getting pregnant. I didn't know why. We took all the tests, and it's called unknown infertility, and about 10% of infertility is because of, they call it unknown reasons. And that is basically all the tests are great, and they don't know why you're getting pregnant. So after 2 years of therapy, I did have a type of infertility, which can be the case with the different fertility treatments, and that's called tooth and endometrium. Can you move to the first slide? There we go. So what is tooth and endometrium? First I have to explain what the endometrium is. The endometrium is like topsoil on the inside of the uterus. And it's a layer of very dense blood vessels, which is a bit like topsoil. So just like topsoil, if this layer is too thin, then the fertilized egg cannot implant, and it won't be nurtured. Can you just press once? Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, so this is what happens if the endometrium is too thin. And so 26 million women are suffering from this today. That's about 14% of women in their infertility clinics. That number can go up to 20% after 2 years. And oftentimes, actually in my case, the actual treatments can cause it. So can we move to the next one? Oh, yeah. So today there's no known cure for this. And so that was my mission, is to find a cure for this. Can you move to the next one? Thank you. Lumawomb regenerates endometrial cells. Using near-infrared light, we're able to cure tooth and endometrium. Perfect, yeah. So how does it work? Sorry, how does it work? It's a bit like photosynthesis. So by using near-infrared light, we're able to regenerate endometrial cells and actually have a 5-time, so far in our clinical studies, have a 5-time increase in the endometrial layer. Thank you. So our market is B2B, selling to OBGYNs. Worldwide, these practices spend more than $28 billion yearly in medical devices. We're a subscription-based device, and so that will incur with a I'm a little nervous. A $2,000 per month subscription will result in a 74 million yearly revenue, not including consumables. Next slide, thank you. Lumawomb offer clinics a strong value proposal. Not only a 5-time return in their yearly subscription rate, but more importantly, clinics will improve on their success rates and become more competitive in the market. Next one, thank you. We're a team with the assets and the experience to facilitate and innovate in this low-cost cure. Today, 26 million couples are locked out of parenthood. Lumawomb's mission, my personal mission, is to offer these couples a key to that, open that door to parenthood. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Luana.
Now we'll see a video from Neurora. They have created Loop, an over-the-counter wearable device that treats PCOS symptoms.
I'm Claire Dixon, CEO and co-founder of Neurora. Why do I work in women's health? Perhaps because it's an untapped trillion-dollar industry, or perhaps because of my own journey. 8 years of battling infertility, coding in the delivery room, having a botched C-section. How could I work in any other field today? I'm not just a mission-driven founder. I have a proven track record as well as a Harvard MBA, and I'm joined in this journey by my brilliant co-founder, the inventor of our patented technology. We're also supported by world-class advisors, globally respected leaders in their fields. PCOS is one of the most common, most profound, and most overlooked hormonal conditions affecting women. Not just a leading cause of female infertility, but more than half of sufferers will develop diabetes before the age of 40, and there's a long tail of devastating health complications. Affecting almost 1 in 5 women, it's a huge white space commercial opportunity. The standard of care today, hormonal contraceptives, confound diagnosis, disrupt fertility even further, and come with additional risks from side effects. The most effective therapy, acupuncture or electroacupuncture, is totally inaccessible at around $15,000 per year for regular use. What do women want? Reliable and up-to-date information, a safe and inclusive community, effective and accessible treatment. So that's what we're giving them. A unified platform to manage PCOS as a chronic condition with, at its core, our loop device that modulates the metabolic, reproductive, and menstrual symptoms. Initially scaling through online pharmacies, our revenue includes sales of the device, recurring revenue for replacement electrodes, and subscription revenue for the MyLoop app. Additional income is available through affiliate commission, as well as access to their customer base, data monetization with research and pharma partners, and PCOS is just the beginning for our platform. We'll later target prediabetes and diabetes with a weekly disposable version, and we're working with partners on other large unmet needs. Tech4Eva has been our partner for most of the entire time we've been on this journey, and during that time, we've proven commercial interest with a letter of intent for up to $1 million in pre-sales and a growing list of ecosystem partners, including some of our Tech4Eva peers. We've also finalized our pre-production prototype and completed preliminary human studies. We'd like to thank the entire Tech4Eva team, as well as our peers in the program, for all of your support. At Neurora, we're transforming the standard of care for chronic underserved conditions, starting with PCOS. Join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. And now time to hear from another Canadian startup, Eva, that developed a biosensor device to improve pelvic floor health and deliver rehabilitation therapy. So we'll hear from Rachel. And by the way, Rachel is also the founder of Femtech Canada. Rachel?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the introduction, and hello from a snowy Canada. I'm the CEO of Eva Health, and when I was diagnosed with cervical cancer at 28 years old, I was handed over an 84-year-old technology to help with my symptoms post-treatment. And I knew women deserve better, not only to treat, but also track their pelvic floor and gynecological conditions. At Ivy, we've created the first data-driven medical device-based pelvic rehab system, which includes this amazing 3 therapy-based, biosensor-based vaginal wand that is used from home by a patient and is tracked with a patient mobile app, as well as a software portal that our clinicians use to essentially remote monitor the patients from home with our proprietary data set of gynecological markers. In early testing, our device has decreased pain, muscle tension, while increasing sexual function, bowel and bladder movements, and even natural lubrication in menopausal women. We've also decreased administrative burden and kept patients out of the clinic for OBGYNs, providing that important hands-on treatment for pelvic floor therapists to get consistency in that internal work, which is really key and super important for patient progress in pelvic health. We have a triple win business model under US reimbursement codes where the device is free for patients, the doctors make new revenue, and we make about $110 per patient per month, which is fully covered under this insurance. And we found out that we are actually the first in the US to perform remote therapeutic monitoring for gynecological and pelvic health. We're first targeting the 16 million women with endometriosis, pelvic cancer, and vaginismus, just to name a few, in the 9 ongoing clinical trials that we have. I'm a 2-time entrepreneur with exits, leading a team of 14 majority female and diverse team, alongside 6 additional researchers. We've had some amazing wins through Tech4Eva. We recently got the green light from the FDA for our 510(k) pathway. We've onboarded our first alpha customers. We've just closed our $1.5 million seed round to get our regulated, clinically validated, and commercial-ready product for our 2024 launch of our platform in the US. We have a 218 clinic wait list. We've secured new manufacturing partners, and we've opened offices in 3 different countries. We're also being monitored by Medtronic for our amazing biosensor data, which is showing progress towards diagnostics. And as we prepare for commercialization, we'll be looking to connect with Series A investors in early 2024. I want to thank Tech4Eva for being amazing for myself as a North American company navigating the European market and understanding where entrance to the market could be. We learned a lot about regulatory pathways. We've loved connecting and getting advice from other companies. And special thanks to Jerome, who's been coaching us through the growth of our team. And so thank you, Tech4Eva, so much for your global women's health leadership.
Now we're joined on Zoom as well by Intignis Biotech, who have developed pre-eclampsia tests that allow on-the-spot decision-making for clinicians.
Hi everyone, a very good evening to all of you. Healthcare equity for women is an unrealized global goal, and especially in a country like India, where societal and cultural factors have major bearing on the women's overall health and well-being. We, Intignis Biotech Private Limited, are a women-led startup focused on improving women's health by providing simple and accessible solutions. I am Pranjali, working with Intignis to provide innovative solutions for screening and detection of women's health and pregnancy-related disorders. Next slide, please. Yes. Currently, we are focused on developing a kit for preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is a disorder that occurs during pregnancy. It causes hypertension and is harmful to both the mother and the baby. It affects nearly 1 out of every 10 pregnancies, and with an annual rise of 25%, it claims over 70,000 maternal and 500,000 fetal deaths. The currently available preeclampsia detection tests in the market are very expensive. They detect the conditions only when the symptoms appear, and the damage to the mother and baby is already done. Especially these tests are available only in some tier 1 cities in the world. Next slide, please. To counter these issues, we have developed PE Screen. PE Screen or preeclampsia screening test is a rapid point-of-care diagnostic test that can detect the risk of developing preeclampsia in pregnant women. Early detection of preeclampsia can enable doctors to make informed decisions and manage the pregnancy outcomes. PE Screen is economical and can be used in low-resource settings. It can be used by doctors, path lab technicians, healthcare workers in primary healthcare centers. Next slide, please. When only 2 drops of blood are added on the test kit, the results are seen in 10 minutes in the form of test lines. The more the number of lines, the higher is the risk of developing preeclampsia during pregnancy. Next slide. We have grown a lot in this year, especially thanks to Tech4Eva. We have expanded our team. We have more scientists and clinical researchers on board. Our board of team mentors and advisors has also grown. We have consultants in the marketing, regulatory, and supply chain management. We have also been granted the Indian patent for the technology. We have received the trademark for our product PE Screen. We've completed pilot clinical study and have data for over 100 patients. And we have also identified a manufacturing partner who will help us scale up. Next slide, please. Tech4Eva played a crucial role in our growth. The support provided by mentors and coaches were especially beneficial. The workshops for user design and regulatory were very insightful. The peer-to-peer sessions help us connect with other startups. The highlights of their journey, especially presented here today, are truly inspiring. Overall, it was a great experience, learning experience, and we wish to be a part of Tech4Eva ecosystem. Next, please. So this is our team Intignis. Next, please. And thank you. Do stay in touch with us. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. So before talking about Care Mother, we should have as well heard about self-care, but unfortunately, due to some family emergency, Elena was not in a position to come, neither to record the video, but I wanted to share a few words about who they are. That's one of the most early stage company that we had this year, and they are on a mission to fight the cervical cancer, especially in low-income markets. They're right now finalizing a prototype of a new speculum with a new design, and looking for industrial and academic partnerships. And I know that thanks to the Tech4Eva program, they have engaged discussion within the EPFL on how we can integrate, or they can integrate, sorry, AI and machine learning technologies. And they are as well raising their first pre-seed fund. So if you have any interest, I invite you to connect with them offline. Or there is Bertrand as well, for those in the room. If Bertrand, you can raise the hand, was coaching them throughout the program. So if you have any specific question or need their details, he can support. So thank you very much. And Lydia will present the next.
Yeah, last but not least, we have Care Mother joining us on Zoom. It's a startup that developed a device powered with AI to monitor fetal health at home.
Thank you and good evening. My name is Tarana and I'm talking to you from India. I'm joined by Shantanu, who's the CEO and founder of Toto Health, also known as Care Mother. Care Mother is a startup based in India. We have digital health solutions focused on women's health. And our mission is to create equal opportunities of equal care for women, no matter where they are. Next slide, please. Every pregnancy needs fetal monitoring in the last trimester. The protocol for fetal monitoring is that for normal pregnancies, it's a once-a-week test, a non-stress test, which is required to be done for all pregnancies. And if it's a high-risk pregnancy, then at least twice a week, if not more. This is a 10 to 20-minute test, which is important to understand fetal health and monitoring for every pregnancy. And of course, there is continuous non-stress test that is performed when the mother is in labor. However, this test is, largely, performed by CTG machines based in large hospitals. It's a bulky device, as you can see in the picture on the right-hand side. It's non-portable. Apart from the high cost of the device, it's also high maintenance and needs a gynecologist in the room for interpreting the results. The inconvenience to mothers is, of course, the frequent travel and the expense that is incurred with every NST that is performed in the hospital, and not to mention the risk to infections that happens with every visit. Next slide, please. So therefore, Care Mother Baby Beat has been launched to overcome all of these issues and also to reduce the leading cause of fetal death, and of course the large number of stillbirths that are taking place globally every year, almost to the account of 2 million. This is a very simple to use device and makes the whole process and experience of pregnancy very joyful and comfortable for the mother, because she can perform fetal monitoring from home and share the results with her doctor. Baby Beat is an AI-powered clinical-grade fetal monitor, which is simple to use by the mother at home and can be used for various indications in high-risk pregnancies as well as normal pregnancies. We are CE certified and we are also ISO certified, and we have launched in India already and working with several large maternity homes and hospitals. Next slide, please. Baby Beat is an easy-to-use device. After downloading the Care Mother application, the mother, applies gel to her abdomen, which is supplied along with the kit, along with the NST device, places the Doppler on the tummy, performs the test, listens to her heartbeat, which is a very joyful experience, can share this with her friends and family, and of course, to the doctor as well, who then uses the AI-powered interpretation to inform the mother if all is well with the fetus or she needs to come to the hospital for a follow-on checkup. We have validated the device and it meets all gold standards and of course is powered with AI, and we have a huge number of test data that helps us improve the interpretation. Next slide, please. Like I said, Baby Beat has been launched in India already. We've reached almost more than 1,000 healthcare providers through our existing channels. We have a pharma partnership. Almost 25,000 tests have been already performed at home. And we are now exploring the UK and the EU market. We are a B2B company, and in India, we offer a very unique rental model for mothers, where it's an affordable and a convenient means of performing NST at home. And we are open to exploring different business models in the UK and the EU, both B2B and B2C. Baby Beat is a highly awarded and recognized solution. We recently were at Stanford Medicine and won, the Baby Beat device was awarded a bronze medal. Apart from that, in India, we've won several awards like the ZS Prize. We're also present in Cloud9 and Sahyadri and some of the large leading maternity chains and hospitals. Next slide, please. I would also like to take this opportunity to talk about one of the new initiatives at Care Mother. Sukhi is a personalized stress management during IVF. Today, we've heard so many path-breaking solutions in IVF by some of the very enterprising founders and clinicians working in the space of fertility. And we all understand the whole journey of IVF and how stressful it can be for the mother. Therefore, Sukhi is a personalized, holistic program that offers a very customized approach to managing the emotional aspects of the fertility treatment, leading to a much more positive experience. We use a combined a lifestyle approach of tracking symptoms, of tracking vitals, providing a comprehensive report, using digital therapy and a personalized counseling program along with yoga that helps to improve the whole experience of fertility and also helps to improve the whole outcomes of the infertility treatments. Next slide, please. Tech4Eva has been extremely helpful for us. We are based in India. We are part of the Global South cohort. But the kind of mentorship and support that we have received from them has been extremely phenomenal and helpful for us in our journey. A big shout out to Bertrand, who's been our mentor and has been very generous with his experience and knowledge that he has shared with us in this 9-month journey. We've also spoken to some of the experts at Tech4Eva like Marta, Eric from Bloom Life, and the CSEM team that have helped us understand the whole regulatory landscape in Europe and the whole, helping us open doors for partnerships. We've also had access to an impact investor. And now we have a much better understanding of the kind of partnerships that we want to access in the EU and UK. And not to forget the vibrant startup ecosystem that we are now exposed to both in EU and Africa, and we hope to remain connected with them. And of course, collaborate with them in the near future. So thank you. And that's all from Care Mother.
Thank you, Shantanu, and thanks again to all these fantastic entrepreneurs for your passion and energy to improve women's health. And thanks to all of you as well for your very active listening today. And as we're coming to the end, I'd like to take some time, a few minutes with Lisa to just think and reflect. So anything you would like to share, Lisa?
No, I would just like to thank everyone for once participating, but also for all your efforts in improving women's health. I have to say, as a woman, I really feel validated. I feel seen that, there's so much movement in this sector. And I feel we've heard about, when we collaborate together, we can really succeed in improving women's health. And I'm very excited to see what's coming next.
Thank you, Lisa. And I think I would echo as well what some of you have said and Raymond in terms of the ecosystem. So here, beyond the accelerator program, the mission of Tech4Eva is actually to reinforce and build this ecosystem, engaging with all the different stakeholders, and that's great to see that we have. And thanks again, to the sponsoring partners, insurance companies, industry players, public, organizations coming together. That's really how we can all together improve women's health. And really looking forward for 2024. So really invite you all to keep your engagement, talk within your own communities, join these public events like we have today, and that we'll keep organizing. And I'll soon invite you to the closing drinks. But before that, wanted to remind you as well of the book that Lisa will, offer signed copies later on, and invite you as well to follow us on LinkedIn and to check out on the website www.tech4eva.ch in case you want to re-engage with any of the startup and entrepreneurs you've seen today, the previous alumni or the 2023 participants. With that, I would like again to thank you and inviting the CEOs, mentors, and supporters to just join us on stage for a short group picture. Thank you very much. And thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Jerome.